Hey everybody, this is John Spalding with SG Mediagroup and S&G Endeavors. Today we are doing our final episode of Coffee with Jeremy. And so we have Jeremy Granson, but first I want to introduce our producer, Ryan Lavacek. How are you today, Ryan?
I'm doing good. Thank you, John.
Cool. Well, thanks, Ryan, for being back there on the board and moving our cameras back and forth for this kind of final episode of the season for Coffee with Jeremy. We got some surprises, and we're going to have a good conversation today, so welcome, everybody. Jeremy, you're on the hot seat today, so let's bring it over to you first. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm more excited that I have no idea what we're doing the show on. So that always is a comfortable spot for those of you who know me, for me to be in. And I'm embracing it and going with it and welcoming it. So how are you, John?
Good, good. So today's theme is a year of collaboration. And what we're doing today is kind of looking back on some of S&G Endeavors clients, some of S&G Endeavors partners and people that we're affiliated with, and also looking back on some episodes of Coffee with Jeremy, and just to do kind of a reflection on the year and through the lens of collaboration. We talked a lot about collaboration and what that means to the individual folks that we talked to throughout the year. So first, I'd like to bring in Nate Blodgett from District Spice. How are you today, Nate?
Doing well. How's everyone else?
Good, good. So we had you on, and so I put up a slide right now for District Spice and a couple announcements that you had on your website. Give everybody out there just kind of a quick update on your company, and then we'll have you and Jeremy kind of say hi to each other because he didn't know that you're here.
Yeah, I see him smiling down there. Well, we've had a really great year. This is actually the end of our second year of business, and we actually doubled our sales from our first year. We started seeing a really strong return customer base that really appreciates what our products are being put out there. We've started doing a lot more collaborations with restaurants. We've got a number of recurring orders. One of them, Old Agent 12 Firehouse on R and North Capitol in the district. He's doing 5 pounds of our Jamaican jerk every 2 weeks. If you haven't tried it out, he's using them on his jerked wing appetizer and his jerked pork chop entree, and they've been doing phenomenal. We also had, sorry, it's kind of choked me up because it means a lot to us. We got to do our first charitable donation really this year. We have friends and family in the military, and we wanted to do something to support veterans organizations and families of veterans. So we did a collaboration with the USO Metro Washington Baltimore, and from the 6th to the 19th of November, we donated $2 from every jar that we sold in that time frame, and I'm proud to say we were able to donate $606 on our first attempt.
Wow, man. That's cool, and I appreciate the way that you were being authentic there, and I think it's great to forge those relationships that you did with the farms and with restaurants and having them incorporate your products in there, and then being able to do something like that for the Veterans Organization. That's really cool.
No, thank you.
Nate, that's really amazing, man. So I'm just really amazed with the stuff that you guys are doing, and being able to do the charitable donation thing is so important, especially when it does mean so much to you. And so it sounds like you're really taking your collaboration with the restaurants to a new level. So really awesome.
Yeah, it's been a really amazing experience. We also have, before I quit my previous job to do this full time, which we just 1 year of me doing this full time last October, our friends who are realtors started to use some of our gift sets. They asked us if we would do a gift set for them. So it's 4 select spices, and they give it to their customers when they welcome them to their new home. So it gives them a little something more personal. We've been doing more collaborations along those lines.
Awesome. Well, why don't you make sure you follow up with me offline about those? Because I have some ideas of who might be able to use those, and I think that would be really amazing to think about that. And just really, I'm laughing because I actually have a list of people that we wanted to see if we could get together for dinner with. So hit Jerry and I up to get together for dinner with you and Carolyn, and let's see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, if you want the baked bean recipe, we'll be putting that up there for you soon using the barbecue seasoning.
Oh, now I'm on board. That'll be awesome.
And then,
Very cool.
Hey, Nate, so collaboration is hard work. Any tips for other small business owners or other people out there that are looking into building those types of relationships and collaborating with other business owners and with other groups and organizations?
I think the first thing, and Jeremy, you could probably really feel this sentiment, pay your dues. I don't know if you remember that old saying back at the chapter house. I've been amazed. We always pay our bills. And I've had businesses that we've worked with that said it's not uncommon now for people to not pay their bills. And that really puts a lot of people on the hook. Especially with restaurants, you have very low profit margins. So it really boils down to who you are as a business owner and making sure you fulfill on your commitments. Your word is your bond. It's your reputation. And I think, especially with this heightened political climate that we've experienced throughout this last year, we've seen how quickly relationships can dissolve when you don't fulfill your commitments and renege on your agreements.
Yeah, great. Such a good point. Go ahead, Jeremy.
It just amazes me because you know what, Nate, I have actually heard that before, and that I'm not, it's just amazing to me that people would think about doing it that way in a way that could create the quote unquote bad situation, right? Like, and I know there's a lot of us who are doing business with friends, and so that just makes it even weirder when stuff like that happens. And so I appreciate where you're coming from. It's a good learning experience. And it's good to see you. Very awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And so Nate, I'm gonna go to the next slide. You're more than welcome to stay and hang out with us. We'll be here for a little bit, but we're gonna go to the next slide and a couple other introductions. But thank you so much again for coming in and offering that perspective. It's good to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. So next up, Jeremy, Ron Milam wanted to say hello. We talked with Ron Milam, but he couldn't come in live. But here's a slide about some of his work, and I just wanted to mention it. He's doing some great work out in California working with collaboratives. And so his take on collaboration in 2016 is just kind of like how important it is to start and to get organizations, like-minded organizations, to work collaboratively on projects, and what are some strategic funding, and how do we work better within and among the organizations that we have around us. And so these are just some of the Smart Growth California, the 30 Pacific Coast Collaboratives, and then the Southern California Grant Makers are three of his most recent blog posts. And I told him that I would mention those, and he wanted me to tell you hello, Jeremy, and have a great holiday season.
One of the interesting things, John, is just as Nate, has the ability to help some of our clients who may be working in the smaller startups for food, Ron has really become an expert for us in collaboratives and really looking at that community-driven collaboration, kind of even a higher level than what we're doing with the Nebraska Department of Public Health. And so it's really awesome to hear about some of the work that he's been doing. That's why we tap into our partners, because we are experts in the process, and some of them are experts in larger parts of the game. So I love that. What else you got for me?
Well, that's exactly right.
Interesting road.
Oh, that's cool. No, that's exactly right. And I was just going to say, maybe Ron is someone that we reach out to when we're talking more about the cooperatives that we're going to be starting and working on in 2017.
Yeah, that might actually not be a bad idea now that you're saying that, especially as the Mediagroup is beginning to advance its work on things like the Global Engagement Network and G1NBC and also looking at Nexus for Change and how we partner with that organization. So awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. So the next slide I'm bringing up, Jeremy, it's the Nebraska Bike Walk Summit, and it's March 23rd and 24th of 2017. But also, I don't know if you saw who joined the Hangout, Julie Harris. Here. So I just wanted to give her a chance to say hello to you and to everybody else that was out there, and then I think both of you can talk a little bit about this slide.
Hello.
Julie, my day gets better every time that I'm in a meeting with you, and that is, I think, every day this week. So I'm excited.
Yes. Then you just must be a happy camper.
I really am. I actually am. We're about ready to launch the nebikewalksummit.org site live, and notice how I also plugged it at the same time for those of you who may want to go take a look. It is not live yet, so we ask that you to share that and until Julie and I have a chance to actually talk to each other about it and make sure we got it right.
Right.
But Julie, it's been an interesting year for us in Nebraska, really just kind of seeing different summits happening and different communities and where they're at and how they plug into this process. Especially, I think that the Bike Walk Summit being the first one and kind of taking a little bit different approach than the total top-down approach that we see with some of the other summits around the country is kind of some thoughts that I'm having there. I don't know if you've got other stuff that you and John had talked about at all, but that's kind of where my head is going, is just watching these communities go through the process and seeing this as a kind of like we were talking the other day, as a way to really jumpstart a lot of training and collaboration among the different groups coming together on the project.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
I'm super excited. I'm excited about how this initial inaugural summit will give us a chance to share the story of all the work we've been doing over the past, 2 years now, 3 years, 2 years, however long it's been. And at the same time, really launch us and tee us up really to move forward with an annual summit, bringing biking and walking together. And as our organization, looking at our mission as we move forward too, as Nebraska Bicycling Alliance, see what kind of energy we gain from the summit and see how that might impact our mission moving forward.
Well, I am doubly excited to hear that, just because helping you guys with your strategic plan for NEBA. And ironically, I remember the summit being something that naturally came out of that strategic plan, and then it flowed out of the steering committee. So there's so much alignment there, and I'm really glad. I'm glad to work with you on this project. It's exciting
It's super exciting, and it's been so pivotal for us in so many ways, because as a brand new organization, for us to be able to literally, frankly, just have the income from the technical assistance we're providing to all the communities in the Walkable Communities Project has kept us afloat and moving forward. It's given me a chance to meet advocates from across the state and start learning about what those different issues are. So this work that we've been doing together has been pivotal on multiple levels. So it's been very rewarding.
I love it, Julie. We bring the process, you bring the expertise, and both of us challenge each other. That's what makes it so good. I was talking with Brian Coyle about that as well, that there really is a piece of it where, you know, you can get into really looking at take things to the next level. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, and as long as I don't get us too lost on the trips to the airport or wherever we're going, too many U-turns will be fine.
That's
I think the number of U-turns per trip with you and I probably exceeds the national recommended number.
That's right. I'm sure.
So you guys have the website's coming out when?
So we. Oh, I'm getting a lot of. So we actually. Website released yesterday. So the goal is to put some final touches on that. And then we'll have it launched. I'm hoping either to. I want to say like Monday at the latest, Julie, because we keep trying to target it for a Monday release. And see if we can do that. And then we're going to do a huge push after January 1st, once people are back and really looking at it, to make sure we get people registered. There's going to be discounts for students and AARP. Julie's organization has negotiated an awesome deal where you guys can are working to sponsor some students to come. So if you're a student in Nebraska, this is definitely a place for you to plug in. It really is about getting young people engaged in this. I've come to that conclusion. Just as we saw in, yeah, I'm totally going there. As we saw in our political election, we need to get young people engaged in taking leadership positions. This is an opportunity for students to get engaged in the walking, biking, and overall health movement in Nebraska, and to really form some relationships with potential representatives and legislators and other local officials, as well as other advocates and lots of people from health. So it's really very exciting to me. So. I think we may have lost.
John, you're muted.
There we go.
Who muted me?
You had a lot of stuff coming back. Every time one of us talks, we get your background noise from your computer.
Oh wow, that's terrible. Is it gone?
Yeah. No, it's still there.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know how to fix that, so I don't know if I should.
I would say you just want to probably mute as much as possible. If you've got two computers at the same time, you gotta mute one or something. But
All right.
what's next, man?
So yeah, so Jeremy, I was thanking Julie for being here and for taking the time to come in and say hi. And so I really appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
So Jeremy, oh, go ahead. Jeremy, any other reflections from you thinking about the collaborations and the relationships that you've made over 2016? Any other reflections that you've had in terms of thinking about either the work that you've done or past guests that have been on the show with you?
You know, I was actually thinking about this. And I think 2016 has been a really amazing year for this company. We've done some work with our core biking and walking advocacy work that we've been doing really consistently for quite some time. And it was really good to see some successes. Bike East Bay, for example, you know, taking the next step instead of just stopping at doing their strategic plan, but really bringing the advocacy organizations and working groups across the East Bay region together for a summit in February of 2016, where they really looked at how can we be better at advocacy and how can we do better at supporting local advocacy across the state. To me, that sets a model almost for our statewide advocacy organizations who may be experiencing some of the toughness of being able to get advocates to do local action. Bringing them together and really having that conversation was really critical to both making that happen and being able to get it funded, because Renee was able to take that and to go after funding for the advocacy network and be able to make that work. You know, we had stuff like the North Texas Cycling Summit, which was pretty amazing to watch those guys come together and create their strategic plan to increase cycling in North Texas. And we're going to see how they do in the implementation phase of being able to make that work. You know, we've worked with Georgia Bikes. They're going to be releasing their strategic framework in early 2017, and they worked virtually to engage people from across the state. Very successful with Caitlin DeJoy, who is their Department of Transportation bicycle and pedestrian coordinator, saying at our last public meeting, I look at the strategic framework that you guys have put together and I see where you have really incorporated our suggestions and listened to us. And that's really great. And just to hear her say that in a meeting was amazing to me. Green Corps Chicago is another organization that we worked with, more of a city-based program that is really about empowering our underserved communities of Chicago, doing specific job training on green jobs and helping them, you know, get aligned and become part of the workforce. And just to sit with them in that 80-person summit where they came together for a day and they put their strategic plan together and listen to some of the people who normally are not seen as the people who bring the wisdom to the table. They don't have positions of title. They just have the desire of what needs to happen, and they bring it, and they come together and they figure out how to work it together, and that is amazing. That's what I really do this for. You had Scotts Bluff and Kearney, Nebraska, and seeing stuff from Grand Island and Lexington and Superior and all these different cities that we worked with, Hebron, all of them are starting to see some on-the-ground successes and community-driven action, and that is amazing. We had everything from a walking school bus activity to several cities establishing that they were going to prioritize biking and walking at a policy level, to an organization who are a community of Hebron who literally won or was awarded over $200,000 in grants to continue this work from local foundations in the community. And then there's the things that you can't actually put back to a particular organization. John, like, we had the awesome opportunity of working with one city whose advocates are really struggling on how to come together and all work together more effectively, and they have gotten to the point where they are collaborating and putting together a public release that says we're united as advocates. And that's going to better position their advocacy community to go after things like better bus routes and walking and bike lanes and other things that they need to be able to make their city more livable, more active, and more engaging to retain its citizens. You have, I remember leading one potential discussion of alignment with two organizations in the very initial stages, and somebody just reflecting at that meeting on how important it was to take the time to really have the conversation around what was our purpose and what are we really trying to achieve. And I end with that one because our work at S&G really comes in a variety of ways. Sometimes it's working with people like Nate, who are business owners, and maybe collaboration is just something that they're doing and are not sure exactly what that means, to seeing like what Nate and Carolyn have done with District Spice, and the idea that they are really collaborating with restaurants and with a variety of different customers. Sometimes it's a more formal project and a more long-term project. Sometimes it's just a retreat. And sometimes it's that one-on-one coaching, that those conversations that you have with someone, and then you have the aha moment where you say, wow, you know what, we could really help you with that, and here's the way that we could do that. And so I think as I reflect over the year and think about that, those are the different things that stick out to me. But I also think that ready for
Cool. One thing that another episode of Coffee with Jeremy was the one that you did with me on my stair speeches or my elevator pitches for the Mediagroup. And so you gave me some coaching on putting together a pitch and kind of the 4-step process for the pitch. And I think that was very helpful just to go through that process. You know, when you're an entrepreneur and when you're a business owner, sometimes you don't always have a chance to reflect on your own process, go back and make some changes. And so I think understanding and doing the work that we do, knowing that type of coaching, the game you're in, is always helpful to have another opinion and another set of eyes and another voice in the room. Ryan, are you there? Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
And is there anything out there in the chat or any feedback coming in from people that might be watching?
Nothing in the chat right now.
Okay. So the last thing I was going to say, Jeremy, there's a couple things on SG Media Group side that we were able to accomplish. One is the Mikhail Tot from Tot Films Production and his latest full feature movie. That is now in consideration at a bunch of film festivals. That was a great project that we worked on. And then we'll also be talking with you guys about a new web series coming up called The Connected. That's a crime drama based here in Cleveland, Ohio. And that's a really great collaborative project. And people are just now kind of coming on board and getting that initial leadership group kind of set up to get the program and series really formalized and ready to go in 2017. What else do you have coming up, Jeremy, in 2017 that we can look forward to? I know we talked about the summit. Are there a couple other things that you like to mention just kind of as we close out today's segment and get going for the day?
Oh, yeah, I think that, like I said, we're going to have the summit coming up. I think you're also going to see a lot of opportunities for us to be able to talk about some of these on-the-ground successes that I've been referencing. So we do have an appearance that we're doing for the ASLA, which is American, I'm going to totally butcher it. I should actually look that up. It's ASLA Texas. And so this is landscape and designers that are going to be coming together for their state chapter. And we are going to do have some conversations there around stuff that we've been doing to help one of our corporate clients, Asakura Robinson in Houston. They have offices in Houston, New Orleans, and Austin, Texas. And we've been doing a lot of work with them for strategic planning, and we teamed up with Tom Summers from Explorations and Insights to do marketing work last year. We're going to be talking about that. We'll be presenting at the Bike Walk Summit in Nebraska. We're also going to look at trying to have more of a presence at events like the Creative Ventures Conference, things like the Film Festival in Cleveland in March. And John doesn't actually know this yet, but I'm trying to see about getting us some time down at South by Southwest and looking at other conferences that we can use to get our work out there. We're going to have, or to get the successes of our work out there. I think we're going to see more work with some of our corporate clients, probably more strategic planning work. We did some great work with Russo Power in Chicago this past year, getting ready for upcoming planning pieces. So I think we're going to have a lot there. And we could even also be at the National Walking Summit as well. So there's lots of opportunities where you'll be able to see our work and to be able to connect with us so that we can get you signed and help you create the change that you are trying to create for your organization.
Cool. Thanks, Jeremy. And yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention back to Ryan Lavachik again, who has been our producer today and moving our cameras around and getting us all situated in the room and getting everything set up. So thank you, Ryan. I like to say that Ryan's talents are on loan from the Global Engagement Network Co-op. It's a new media and broadcasting and social engagement co-op that is forming, and you'll be hearing more from them in 2017 as well. So thanks, Ryan, for being here. Anything that you'd like to say about that co-op, or anything as we close?
I'd just like to say that it's been really interesting being on both sides of the collaborative process with Jeremy, on a client basis with the Global Engagement Network, and then assisting him on some of their projects with S&G Endeavors. So it's been very eye-opening to see the process in action and starting to implement it with my own project with the Global Engagement Network.
Awesome.
Awesome. And Nate Blodgett from District Spice, are you still here? I see that you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, thank you again for coming in. Any kind of closing words or anything as we leave?
Just I wish everyone a happy new year, and we'll see you all in the new year.
All right, thanks, man. And Julie Harris, anything from you as we close out?
Same thing. Just hope everybody has a great holiday season and looking forward to a successful 2017.
Great. Thank you both for being here for this special edition of Coffee with Jeremy. Jeremy, you have 5 to 10 seconds to close out the show and say goodbye.
Yeah, I think I would with this, think about how collaboration is going to influence taking your work to the next level, and give me a call and let's talk about how we make that happen.
John, you're muted.
Thanks, everyone, and have a great afternoon or morning or late morning, depending on where you are. And we will see you all in 2017.